of what Jazz Attitude is all about. That's the event happening this Sunday at the Alchemist. Now we have one of the event organizers who also happens to be a creative soul. He is a photographer, and he was taking amazing pictures of the last Jazz Attitude, which we are going to be playing on the screen behind us. So I'd like to introduce you and allow you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you very much. My name is Julian Manjahi, and I am a photographer.
Your work behind us?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm a photographer, and well, I should first of all say that Eddie Gray is the one who put this together, and pretty much, you know, we're working together with this, and I am doing the visuals behind this.
Yeah, the creative visual force of it. Eddie Gray, of course, you know Eddie Gray, don't you, Tori?
Yeah.
Have you met him before? Incredible jazz musician. So he's the one who's brought together this entire event called Jazz Attitude. So for our audience at home who may not have been to Jazz Attitude, how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, jazz attitude is pretty much, you know, forging its own path. And as you know, the jazz scene, the jazz culture in Kenya, in Nairobi, has been growing over the last couple of years. And so what then happens is that you get to more definitive forms of jazz. So then to the people who know their jazz, they know that what has been showcased most of the time has been just, you know, on the surface kind of stuff. So now we have a chance to get very specific. We can talk about, you know, more specifically about live music. And we also have our own taste in Kenya, in Nairobi. And so the idea is to bring this out and mix it up. I mean, there are many people who are interested in jazz. There are many people who are performing jazz, influenced by jazz music. It's also a platform for them to show their work, showcase, and bring in a new form.
So Tori, I mean, you can see these incredible pictures behind us. These are his portraits. This is Shawnee. What do you think of his creative work?
Well, first of all, I think this is such beautiful pictures, and you do everything from, you do live, you take pictures at shows, I see, everywhere you go. So how long have you been a photographer? When did you start, and how did you know you wanted to do photography?
It's been an interesting journey for me because photography, I was doing it from when I was young, but then it wasn't until when I went to school, and then I got to experiment with the darkroom, and then kind of, you know, just really figure out what it was about and take it on from there. So I've been doing it for about, I would say, professionally, about 6 years now.
Wow, wow, that's a long time. Really
so
long time.
at the jazz event, Tori, you're going to come to the next one. You're going to be there on Sunday, and I know there's going to be an amazing collaboration with Shamsi Music. But how would you describe the vibe of jazz? What do you think? What's the vibe of jazz in Kenya right now? We had Shamsi talk about Kenyan jazz. How would you describe the scene right now? What people are going to experience on Sunday?
Well, I mean, it's the curiosity has been growing, and people have been seeing the jazz events coming up, and they've been curious about it. So with Jazz Attitude is to fill this kind of hunger that people have been having, and it's interactive as well. With live music.
And we have some of your other work here as well, right?
Yes,
this represents your own artistic flair as a photographer.
Yes, this is a little bit of my street photography, kind of contemporary work, yes.
So it's not just events and jazz music that you do, but you do a wider scope of photography.
Yes. But when I got into Nairobi and I started shooting events, the scene was music.
Beautiful
it was
picture.
Performances.
Beautiful, beautiful picture.
Thank you.
Talented photographer. People are interested in you as a photographer. How can they get in touch with you? What's your handle?
My handle, I'm mostly on Instagram. Guilty as most photographers, I'd say. Visual creative. And I'm on Instagram as Julian Manjahi. I'm also on Instagram for kind of my street photography work as Nairoboy. And pretty much Julian Manjahi, you will find me online on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Pretty much all the social media platforms, yes.
Okay, just in regards to the event itself, if people want to come through, maybe you can give them details of what the ticket prices are, where to find it, just more details about how to get to the event.
So the event will be at the Alchemist in Westlands, and the ticket sales, if you want to buy a ticket, get in early, go to MOOC, and the advanced tickets for the regular tickets are 500 bob, and that's the advanced. For the when you get to the gate, it's going to be 1,000 shillings for VIP. It's 2,500 for the advance, and it's 3,000 shillings at the gate. So it's suggest to go online, book your ticket, save yourself a little bit time on the queue, and you get to enjoy the music. We kick off at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay.
2 p.m. You can bring your family, you can bring your kids along as well.
Yeah.
So it's all inclusive. Yes.
That's nice.
Awesome. Tori, have you got any other questions for our photographer in studio?
I guess all I have, first of all, I'm looking at your pictures and I'm thinking, oh my God, you're such a talented photographer.
Thank you.
You should be really proud of your work. And all I can ask right now, where do you think in the future jazz will get more recognition in Kenya? Do you think people will be more receptive to jazz in the future?
People are already receptive to jazz. We are just bringing it home now.
Yeah.
Because what's been happening is that people have been looking outward, you know, to the international. As much as we're influenced by the international artists, we have our own voice.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so there's no choice. It's going to grow, and it's expanding, and it's making, you know, the conversation has already kicked off, and people are involved. You have, you know, like for example, you have Shamsi.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening. It's growing. There's no two ways about it. It's moving forward.
I think that's great.
What's really interesting is I think a lot of people think that, you know, jazz is this older generation, you know, what your parents might listen to. And what my observations of the last jazz attitude and the growing interest and love around jazz music is it's young people who are performing and it's young people who are going to these events. And I think especially with collaborations like we just saw of Tori, you know, spitting her freestyle rap, this crazy talented girl, with Shamsi, there's a real magic there. So I mean, how would you describe the audience of jazz music from your experience from the last jazz event, taking all these pictures, the people who were there, the people who this is connecting with?
Well, I would say the audience mostly wants to get involved. That's the key thing. They don't want to just sit back and listen to the music and hide their moves, you know, in their seats. They want to get involved. They're curious. They want to participate. They want to contribute, and the interest is growing as before. And this encourages the artist, the music artist, and you know also creates a little bit of competition. And so this gives you more creativity when it comes to the creative aspect of the musicians. And it also encourages the audience to find out more about jazz music and to want to know the history, to want to know where it can go, where it has been. And this is very encouraging, and it will build up as it goes along.
So I think that's wonderful. And surely jazz music, I think people love jazz because it's usually live, just like what we saw right now, right?
Yes.
So I think, do you prefer your jazz live or on TV?
I prefer mine live.
Live, everyone does.
Because as far as my, you know, even being a photographer, my scene, I started off shooting events and shooting music. So I enjoy listening to the tangible aspect of it, and this happens with live music.
That's wonderful. I hope to see you at Alchemist on Sunday.
I will definitely be there.
You will definitely be there, taking
pictures,
no doubt, like these incredible pictures that we can see on our screens around us. Such a talented photographer. I'll just allow you to give one more shout out to our audience who might want to book you, might want to see your work. What is your handles? How do people find you?
All right, once again, my name is Julian Manjahi, and all my handles, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all Julian Manjahi. And please do not forget to come on Sunday, the 23rd of July. Jazz Attitude is going to be at the Alchemist.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming into studio, for sharing a little bit about the Jazz Attitude and also showcasing your incredible photographs. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
Tori.
Thank you so much.
I think we have some enticing action happening on the other side of the studio. If we waltz on over here,
where's your camera?
We have all the performers and the performances who have featured this evening on Jam Sessions. Of course, we've got Swigger here, the movie.